Ever wonder who would win when nature's heavyweights go head-to-head? These battles do happen in the wild, but we rarely witness them. So, to see who's the ultimate champion, to understand their true power, and appreciate their skills, we stage our own battles in a virtual arena. As our animals take shape, experts compare their strengths and weaknesses. With specially built biomechanical machines, we test their might. Finally, our virtual contenders come face to face for the ultimate showdown, Animal Face-Off. Somewhere in the steamy Amazon jungle, two deadly predators are about to meet. A cold-blooded 30-foot anaconda will face the fury of a hot-blooded jaguar. The world's largest snake against the third largest cat. There can be only one winner when these two champions of the jungle meet in Animal Face-Off. An international team of experts gathers in our purpose-built research center. Their mission, reveal the secrets of the Amazon's deadliest predators.
Anaconda versus Jaguar. First of all, we got to find out, can you guys build one of these?
You know we can build one, Dave.
I apologize, guys. Will you guys build one?
Dave Salmoni, big cat specialist. He uses full-body contact as a research tool.
Come.
Dave trains captive tigers to hunt so they can be released into the wild.
Good girl. Good girl. Should we sit?
How many things you got to make for the Jaguar is going to be a nice skull. The teeth has to be the big biting force there. The other thing you got to worry about is the claws. Each one's razor sharp. Drag it in so they cut right into it. Yeah, the Jaguar's a really powerful animal.
Yeah, an anaconda.
These snakes are ambush predators. So he's going to have his entire body, all 25 to 30 feet of it, hidden under the water. And the only thing that's going to be exposed is going to be the nostrils here, which are actually right on the top of the head, and the eyes.
Dr. Adam Britton, expert in reptile behavior and anatomy. He specializes in the study of cold-blooded killers.
And so it's the snake that almost certainly is going to attack the jaguar first, not the other way around. Usually, an anaconda is not going to strike, though, when he's 10 feet away. It's going to strike when the jaguar is 1 foot away. And moving 1 foot at 10 feet per second is really, really fast.
That's 1 tenth of a second, though.
It's exactly right. Yeah, you're good at maths.
More important than that, it's a high amount of acceleration.
Jonathan Wiersma, measurement specialist. He can reduce animal strength and behavior to numbers. Jonathan's armed with high-tech measuring technology that tells him how fast an animal moves, how hard it hits, and how hard it bites. We'll use his numbers to program two virtual predators for a face-off in a virtual arena. To understand what each contender brings to the face-off, we'll deconstruct their weapons, defense systems, and attack behavior. Our first challenge, recreate the anaconda's strike. Try to analyze a strike in the wild, and you could end up on the menu. So the team will create a biomechanical snake that's much nicer to be near. Chris Wheatley, Mike Latham, and Justin Buckingham are the team's designers and engineers. Adam reveals his snake's combat secrets.
You're down here. Suddenly this thing grabs you on the snout. What are you going to aim at? What are you going to claw at? All the snake has to do is get its body around some way. It will bring its coils around really, really quickly. I mean, it's going to be fast.
So what's the largest thing anaconda's ever swallowed?
Well, it depends on the size of the anaconda. I mean,
But the largest anaconda's ever swallowed?
well, probably an adult jaguar, actually. So the thing is, if the anaconda actually gets hold of the jaguar on the head, and that's where they usually strike, the animal's not going to be able to get its head back out again. So that's the first thing you've got to try and do. See if you can get some kind of way of getting this head to hold on to something.
The anaconda is the largest snake on Earth. More than 30 feet long and 12 inches wide. A snake this size weighs 350 pounds. It hunts from ambush, hiding in water for greater mobility. It can strike from several feet away, but prefers to get within a few inches of its target. Anacondas are constrictors. They squeeze the life out of their prey. They have no venom, but they do have 6 rows of needle-sharp teeth. And their mouths are packed with enough bacteria to cause a serious infection. Time to upload our first batch of data to the computer lab. Our 3D designers create a framework for their computerized anaconda as they slowly build a virtual snake, adding bone, then muscle, then skin. Our engineering team will follow a different path, in metal. Chris Wheatley bases his design on a real anaconda skull, scaled up to the largest recorded size for the species. Snake skulls have several moving parts. They are among the most complicated of all animal skulls. First, the designers model the replica in wax. Later, they'll cast it in metal.
So there's at least 3 different movements of the jaw in various directions. So we've got a sort of quite a big technical problem of how we're going to deal with this.
Snakes have jaws that don't just swing down, they also spread out sideways. That's how all constrictors swallow large prey. Anaconda teeth curve backwards to stop prey escaping. A full-grown specimen has more than 60. Next stop, the foundry. The casting team buries the mold in a mix of fine sand and a special glue that sets rock hard. Molten steel burns out the wax and takes its place. The different jaw segments turn out fine, but those delicate teeth are a different story.
As you can see, we're sort of toothless presently. The steel, as it was cast, bled through the sand in the mould and gave us flashing all the way through, so it's easier for us now, rather than try and individually bring those teeth back to life, is to sort of take off the whole lot, and we're going to stick in little pins.
Making the skull is only half the story. Our metal anaconda will need a launch vehicle so it can attack at high speed.
And the second thing is to try and get this head moving towards the jaguar head at about 10 feet a second, because that's the speed at which it's going to strike. Remember that there's not a lot of bite force behind it. We're not after a really, really heavy bite.
If we're doing a strike, then maybe some sort of form of parallelogram on the I-beam, so we can go along and just the sheer force of the stop, send the head forward.
Test number 1. Recreate an anaconda attack. The aim: analyze how an anaconda strikes and grips its prey, and measure how hard it hits. Our anaconda head needs a vehicle strong enough to hurl it forward and tough enough to survive a sudden stop. Mike the engineer strengthens the welds just to be sure. The carriage rides on a 30-foot steel beam, exactly the length of the big snake. It's powered by bungee cords. Only 36 hours after the design team began work, our biomechanical beast is ready for action.
The Spanish word for anaconda is matadora, which means bull killer. What chance do you think your Jaguar's really got?
Jaguar means wild beast of the jungle. So I really don't think your Anaconda has much of a chance.
When you're trying to attack a superior enemy, the first thing you do is you make sure it can't deploy its weapons. And that's what the Anaconda's going to do.
Time to set loose the serpent.
Oh, look at this.
Sure.
This is excellent.
Done a nice job, that's for sure.
Oh, look at it. Look at the way the jaws spring back. That's extremely cool.
It's a bit small, don't you think?
Yeah, but you've got to remember, Dave, there's 30 feet of snake behind this. This is just the thing the snake uses to catch the prey. It's very prehistoric looking, Dave. You've got to appreciate that. You know, snakes have been around for 135 million years. And big cats have been around for what? 500,000 maybe?
You know, it's the new model. Everybody wants the new model. New is always better.
So you could say that these guys have got the benefit of experience.
Yeah, well, I guess the cat's got the benefit of real big teeth. It impresses me, but not as much as the Jaguar
Don't
does.
forget there's another 30 feet of snake behind that.
Before they move on to the testing, our experts decide what sort of anaconda behavior they'll need to copy.
What we're trying to do here is say, okay, how is a snake going to catch the Jaguar? We've got to try and launch those jaws at an object really quickly.
Yep.
You can see this snake just here, what it's going to do. You see the way it's striking forward like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really fast.
It's quick, you're right, but I mean, it's not going to be as quick as the Jaguar. The Jaguar, when he gets a hold of it, he's not going to be stupid and trying to catch it out of the air. He's going to grab it and draw it. And obviously,
If that snake head is just here, and it launches, and it takes a tenth of a second to get onto the skull, you really think the Jaguar is going to be able to respond in time?
But what I'm saying is, a cat is super fast. I mean, I don't know the speed in which they swat at or bite at. I tell you won't see it with your naked eye.
This is going to be really, really fast. I think that Jaguar is going to have enormous trouble.
Guys, hey, let's go do the tests and see what the results are like.
Okay, you show us. You show the guy that the Anaconda is going to win.
Okay.
Oh, Justin, this is looking
Hi, Adam.
pretty impressive. What's going on here?
Well, we're on the carriage with the inline skates on our I-beam. This is really just to demonstrate the strike.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and send this down the I-beam at approximately between 10 and 20 feet a
10
second.
to 20 feet a second, yeah. 20 feet is probably a little bit fast, but,
Okay.
you know, at least 10 feet per second will be good.
It's on a simple parallelogram. So on impact.
We'll measure the speed to check that it's as fast as a real anaconda strike. The target, the smooth surface of an eggplant.
Now, obviously, this isn't a Jaguar nor the consistency of one.
Well, actually, believe it or not, the flesh in the skin of an eggplant is not that dissimilar to the skin of a Jaguar's nose.
This test gives us a front row view of the anaconda strike, as well as revealing the forces unleashed in the process. Jonathan will use motion tracking technology to measure the forces when our anaconda collides with its prey. To do this, he tapes our test rig's travel from 3 different angles. By comparing the skull's position on all 3 cameras, he'll generate numbers for speed, acceleration, and impact. We're ready for a biomechanical simulation of an anaconda attack.
Okay, Chris, you ready?
Yep, clear.
3, 2, 1, fire. Just a bit of tweaking.
That might have knocked out the Jaguar.
The lab team have hit a snag. Their test rig works perfectly, but their anaconda needs glasses. Its aim is hopeless. They'll have to go back to the drawing board if they want to snap out of this snake We've transformed the largest snake on Earth into metal. The aim, to discover what the biggest cat in the Americas will face when it tackles a giant anaconda. Our virtual snake is already taking shape in the computer lab. We'll add more data from the tests, prepping it for the face-off with a virtual Jaguar. If we can recreate the anaconda strike in the test lab, we can measure the forces involved when it collides with its prey. We can measure the forces involved when it collides with its prey. But the biomechanical snake struck out.
Look at the speed it's traveling.
That was quite fast. You know what? It opens up here, right? Its jaws open here, and then it's closed.
Yeah, because what's happened is this plate here has hit the bottom of that plate there. It's not rolling up and using the spring. So we just need to move that eggplant forward.
Way forward, yeah.
40 centimetres.
It's pushing the whole thing back.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the real snake would actually have its jaws open for much longer. They tend to go forward with the jaws open. Then when they hit something, that's when they close their jaws.
Yeah. All right, let's just give it another go and see where we end up.
Fair enough.
The steel serpent needs some intensive therapy before the next attempt.
Hopefully the anaconda's going to grab it this time. But this isn't an exact science, it's a bit of experimentation, so let's stand back. You guys ready up there? Let's go. 3, 2, 1, fire.
Coming at you.
Excellent. Look at that.
Bring it down here into the lab. I gotta say, your snake can bite an eggplant.
You never thought we were going to do it. Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to push it back in.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh yeah, they went.
Look at that.
So there's just there's like 50 or 60 little dots in there.
You remember, there's actually another row of teeth up here.
Yeah.
But these outer teeth, these are the ones that are involved in actually grabbing onto something. And the Jaguar's not going to be expecting that, so he's going to be like, whoa! He's going to be pulled forward into the water. He's going to be off balance before... and then there's the coils.
Holy!
That's right.
The snake's teeth left their mark on the eggplant, but they made no impression on Dave, our Jaguar expert.
Just put this glove on.
Adam still needs to prove his point.
What I want you to do now is I want you to put your hand in its mouth and try and pull it back again. Just see how effective those teeth are.
All right. Open up, little fella. Sure am I going to break this little thing, Justin?
No, just don't try and pull your hand out too fast.
You might injure yourself.
Okay, bitey. Oh, yeah, hang on.
You see, that's not coming out without breaking some teeth.
Yeah, that's caught me there, eh?
So as soon as it grabs onto you, it's going to pull you back as well. It's
Yeah.
going to grab the Jaguar on the nose, and the Jaguar is going to be pulled off balance back towards the water.
No, that's got a good hold. I mean, that's literally, I would have to break something to get my hand out of here.
Yeah.
Now you got to pull that one.
You got to go in so we can come out.
All right.
Yeah, people who've been bitten by anacondas in the past, you've literally got to put your hand actually further down their mouth and open the mouth before you can get it back out again. Now the Jaguar's not going to put its head down the snake's mouth in order to get its head out.
You just squish it.
It's got problems.
Jonathan recorded the action on his motion capture system. He's got the numbers that show if the Jaguar can beat the Anaconda. When a moving object comes to a sudden stop, its energy is transferred to whatever it hits. The faster and heavier the moving object, the greater the blow. Jonathan can measure these forces.
And then using the velocity, we can get the acceleration of the whole event. We could estimate the forces because we know the mass and the forces of gravity acting on it. And we could estimate the amount of force involved in the collision.
Now remember I said before that 10 feet per second is the kind of speed they're going to strike at. Some people actually think that they can go fast as 20 feet per second.
Right.
So, Jonathan, what did you get? Did you get enough for that?
I definitely did. Actually, your snake was moving at a velocity of about 14 feet per second.
14 feet per second. That's good.
If we calculate in the high acceleration, it's going to be hitting the object or the prey item with a force of about 450 pounds.
450 pounds, and that's from a short distance, because they're not going to be taking a run up like that. They're going to wait till your Jaguar is about that close and then bang.
It all comes down to numbers. A full-grown anaconda can strike with 450 pounds of force, enough to bring a 250-pound jaguar to its knees. If the snake can score the first hit, the jaguar may never get back on its feet.
As far as this jaguar skull goes, you got a ton of muscle up through here. These are just big holes for muscle to go through, and you've got the sagittal crest here. That's for muscle attachment. I'm looking at this skull. I'm thinking back to the jaguar that I worked with. You know, his head was that much wider. So, I mean, just that's all muscle. I mean, you did most of this stuff for your thesis, didn't you, Jonathan?
Right, actually, well, the shortness of the jaw translates into a higher bite force, especially when you start scaling it relative to other animals. See, and bite strength is highly correlated with skull width. So we could definitely estimate some of the forces, and we could use that estimate to calibrate the machines in the lab, so we could actually be very representative of what might happen in the wild.
How are you going to make this? I mean, you're talking about serious jaw strength, but I mean, obviously don't want you to break my pretty skull.
Given the size of it, I wouldn't go for steel. I think aluminum's going to be more than strong enough.
The only cats bigger than the jaguar are the lion and tiger. It can weigh 250 pounds and reach 6 feet long. Pound for pound, it's the most powerful of the big three. This South American native has a hunting technique that's unusual for the cat family. Most lie in wait for prey. The jaguar goes out looking for it. And jaguars are the only cats that finish off their prey by biting into the skull. The animators build our virtual rivals layer by layer from the skeleton outwards. By recreating the animal's exact anatomy, they can be sure it's as close as possible to the real thing. But the team needs a metal version of the big cat to discover what a jaguar is truly capable of.
Technical key, good screwdriver.
Our biomechanical jaguar has to be mobile. The engineers will dismantle an earth mover and rebuild it as a remotely operated vehicle.
Once we get our remote control hydrostatic plant driving this rig, we'll be sitting in a calm environment. It'll be much more predictable.
They strip the dozer back to its running gear and fit a mount for the Jaguar head. Both the bulldozer and the jaws will be powered by a diesel engine pumping hydraulic oil through a tangle of pipes. While the mechanics work on their new machine, sculptors shape a block of polystyrene into a perfect replica of the real Jaguar skull. The modelers carefully line up the Jaguar's 30 teeth so they work the way they should. When the sculptors are satisfied, the skull goes to the foundry. This time, the metal chosen to replace the model skull is aluminum.
If you go like that, it's doing what it should do.
Mike designs a neck joint for the Jaguar. It's driven by hydraulic pistons. Problem: how can the engineers be sure the jaws will move properly? Solution: fix a metal bracket to the points where the real cat's muscles attach.
You've made a nice job of these mounts, Joe.
Nice, eh?
Very sexy. You must have had a bit of time on your hands.
Once our head is riding on its test platform, Jonathan can work out just how much power the engineers need to match our biomechanical biter with a real Jaguar.
We know that skull width is highly correlated with bite forces, so actually, if you could help me measure the width of this skull,
Yep.
I could go back and estimate what the bite force would be, so we'll know what we're working with. So that's
Yeah, 160 mil.
160 millimeters, yeah. So what I got to do is I'll type that into the computer and we'll figure out what the estimated bite force is on this little sucker.
Excellent.
A wide skull suggests heavy muscles, which means a powerful bite. There's even a scientific formula that predicts how strong that bite will be. So Jonathan can use his measurements to estimate the power of a jaguar's jaws. They are 6 1/4 inches at the widest point, the same as a wolf's. The formula suggests a bite force between 500 and 600 pounds. Wolf bites have been measured in the wild, and they closely match the figure Jonathan calculates for the jaguar. Our big cat is ready to prowl, and our experts are already sparring.
These things are so aggressive. You know, it can go from being happily asleep to in a fight in seconds. Those things love to fight. So when it comes across your little anaconda, even if the anaconda is minding its own business, Jaguar's coming down on it.
There's one thing you're forgetting, mate. The anaconda is twice as heavy and 6 times longer than the jaguar. It's not going to be found up a tree going into jaguar habitat. Anacondas are not that stupid.
You gotta understand, a jaguar is one of the most aquatic cats. You get him in the water, he's completely comfortable in there. He'll go in, grab it, just like a big fish, and just drag it out on land like he does with every animal that he finds in the water.
We're heading towards a face-off between our virtual anaconda and jaguar. Time to analyze the jaguar's hunting and fighting techniques. These cats aim straight for the brain, but skulls can be tougher than teeth. Soon we'll unleash our biomechanical cat to reveal the secrets of the jaguar's deadly bite. Things are coming to a head on Animal Face-Off. We've measured an anaconda strike and found it can hit with more force than the jaguar's entire body weight. Our virtual anaconda is shaping up as a fearsome opponent, but the jaguar is no pussycat. It's one of South America's premier hunters. We're about to find what it takes to earn the title King of the Jungle. Time to meet the anaconda's worst nightmare.
Really good job on this. Your anaconda's in big trouble here.
I'm not sure about that. I think you're being a bit delusional, though. These teeth are just not going to get through the muscle, though.
I'm telling you, they've got, these big canines. They're going to grab onto it. They're just going to draw them into these sharp carnassials. These guys fit just like scissors, eh? So when they come down, no matter how big it is, it's just going to cut them like scissors right through.
So really, the head is going to be the only part of the body that the jaguar is going to be able to get.
I guess there's
pretty
no point,
small target.
There's no point in arguing here. That's why we built this thing. Let's go do some testing.
Okay.
Let's see.
The jaguar is one of the most feared predators in South America, the only animal that bites through the skull to finish off its prey. Our experts will put its bite to the test so they can study the devastating impact of a jaguar attack.
Guys, I think we've got to calibrate these jaws.
Before we can test the jaguar's bite, we have to make sure our biomechanical cat has the same jaw strength as a real one. The team uses a pressure sensor, a load cell, to measure the bite force as hydraulic power increases.
We're at 250 pounds already. So we're at 380. There's 495. Oh, yeah.
That's 600, so that'll...
Perfect. So can we take this load cell out here and start smashing some things up here?
Let's do it.
Let's test these jaws, see what they can bite.
All right.
With our cat's bite power locked off at 600 pounds, it now has the same jaw strength as a real Jaguar. Time for some tests. First, the crew needs to know if the rig works properly. They'll try it out on a few everyday items, like a can of soda.
Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1, bite it!
This cat definitely has a can-do attitude.
Look at that knife.
Wow, that's impressive.
All right. Okay, let's see what happens to this coconut here.
It's more like a skull, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like a skull. I mean, you've got the soft parts in the middle and you've got the hard parts on the outside.
Ready?
Yep. Yeah, crush this thing.
Count it down.
3, 2, 1, bite it! Oh, that was teeth. There's teeth right under Jonathan's foot.
Yep.
I'll pull
Check
that
the
gun.
dude.
Nice. Dave, I think this
Who
belongs to
decided
you.
to buy the cast iron coconut?
We've broken the tips of our big cat's teeth. That's a disaster for an animal that lives by hunting.
That's actually one of the biggest problems with cats as they get older. They'll actually break their teeth and then not be able to hunt anymore. That's actually why they become man-eaters. They can't kill, hard. That's actually why they become man-eaters. They can't kill, hard prey, so they go after us wimpy humans.
Before we move on to realistic prey, our experts decide what behavior they'll need to recreate in the lab. Nobody has studied the impact of a jaguar bite in the wild. Try to inspect a real big cat's kill, and you could become one. So the lab team will model the bite to the skull using a carcass from a pig farm. And instead of tangling with a real jaguar, they'll let our biomechanical cat provide the answer to their first question. Does the jaguar crush the skull or simply pierce it with those long canines?
This is a specific way the jaguar kills a capybara. Capybara's head is very similar size to that. So I think it's a great display of how they'll kill a capybara-sized animal. Okay, do you want to give this thing a bite?
Okay.
Jonathan, you ready? Yeah. Okay, Mike, you ready?
Yep, ready to go.
3, 2, 1, bite it! Okay, it didn't even give a slightest problem with that skull.
The test shows the skull bite is a surgical strike that pierces the head in several places. A deadly hunting technique.
You can see here now it went right under the ear and went right into the brain case, straight in the brain case.
Well, because we reckoned it had just crushed it.
Yeah, I mean it did. It basically both teeth went straight into the brain case, and that animal's dead. Once that's happened,
Yeah,
you can
pretty
say
massive.
there's nothing happening.
Yeah, I mean, if the Jaguar can get that anaconda's head into its mouth and bite down, then pretty much it's over.
What about the snake's body? Would the anaconda's skin provide any defense against the jaguar's 600-pound bite? Snakes are covered with tough scales made of keratin, the same material as your fingernails. But protection against those deadly canines? No way. The jaguar's spine bite shows just how lethal they are. It's a favorite of all the big cats. We'll test it using surrogate prey.
Good to go. 3, 2, 1, bite! Okay, now let's see. I mean, if you look here, Adam, you've got teeth sunk straight in. I mean, there's no resistance.
They've
there.
gone under the spine, haven't they?
Yeah, well, that's what I was hoping for. If you get a spine bite, the cat is just going to bite on the spine.
Yeah.
So there's been no resistance at all. I mean, it bit right into that. Okay, well, let's have a look at this. Mike, if you could open the jaws and then lift the head up. All right, lifting up. Okay, sweet. All right. Now you've got
quite clean.
Yeah, that means
Straight through there.
right in there. Canine bites. How about the bottom jaw? Did it get through as well? Yeah.
Yeah,
Right in there. There's not really any.
but had he actually been a little bit higher, it'd probably actually broken the spine.
Oh, did feel that?
Oh, it has broken.
Yeah, I mean it's completely. He's separated from the rest from either side.
So what does the Anaconda have to counter the Jaguar's deadly jaws? One of nature's most efficient killing techniques, the big squeeze.
Okay, Dave. Now what we're going to do now is I want to show you just how the Anaconda is going to kill its prey.
Okay, let's see. See what you got.
Just give me your right arm. Roll up your sleeve.
All right.
That's good. Just hold it a second.
All right.
Okay, we'll just put this around your bicep muscle. Okay, there you go.
Really?
Right. You hold the gauge.
Okay.
Right. And what I want you to do now is to compress your arm.
All right.
Really show me those muscles. Okay.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
tight, eh? You've just taken a breath. You need another breath.
Okay.
So what do? You have to breathe out. Okay. And then the snake starts to squeeze. Okay. Now try and contract.
Oh, it's getting a
So
bit
you're
tighter.
trying to take a breath. It's a little
Yeah.
bit harder now.
Harder.
Okay. Now you need another breath.
Okay, take a breath.
Okay. Snake's going to squeeze a little bit more.
Okay, I can take a breath now.
Okay. Take a breath.
Oh,
It's getting harder.
yeah, a little bit
Okay.
harder.
Now breathe out.
Okay, breathing
The
out.
Anaconda's squeezing again.
Okay, yeah, he's squeezing now.
Okay. Now another breath.
Oh,
Getting
yeah.
harder. Getting harder.
He's got me now.
Getting harder. You see, it's getting harder.
How much harder is he going to push?
A little bit harder.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
harder.
yeah.
And you see, so what the snake is doing is every time you're breathing
Is
out.
this going to be long-winded, or can we release me?
No, give me time. Okay. Every time you're breathing out, the snake is squeezing that little bit harder. So every time you try and take a breath, it becomes much, much harder. So eventually you're going to run out of oxygen.
Right.
And you're going to suffocate.
Huh.
So it's a slow and tortuous death.
Constriction uses less energy than grabbing and holding. The prey is going nowhere, and the snake can take all the time it needs to finish it off. The Anaconda uses only a fraction of its strength for the job. Rather than suffocating the prey, it's likely that constriction causes massive internal bleeding instead. The evidence: it takes 4 minutes to suffocate a rat. A constrictor can kill it in 1. Can the team replicate the power of the Anaconda's muscle-packed body?
Whoa!
Oh, come on.
That's amazing.
Next on Animal Face-Off, our experts employ space-age technology to explore the deadly squeeze the Anaconda brings to the rumble in the jungle. The Jaguar and the Anaconda are shaping up as fierce contenders. The Jaguar has powerful jaws, penetrating canines, speed and agility. The snake has 6 rows of gripping teeth and 30 feet of crushing coils. Next challenge, replicate the squeezing action of those coils. They'll use a fluidic muscle.
I'm not sure I should be doing this.
Go on, go on.
Awesome song.
Whoa!
Oh, come on.
That's
He's a
amazing.
little snake fella. Try it. Let a Jaguar man do
Go
this.
on, go on. Hold on to it tight then. There's a lot of force
I
there,
let it
isn't
go
there?
that time.
That did the exact opposite of what I expected it to do.
Basically, the fluidic muscle is a rubber membrane encased around a Kevlar lattice. The lattice is woven at kind of a mesh. So when you inflate it with compressed air, basically the mesh closes.
Okay, can I get on?
Yep.
That means fluidic muscle gets smaller as the pressure inside increases, so it contracts just like a real muscle.
Oh, look at that. So obviously, if this was really a snake, I mean, snakes have got a lot more muscles than this. But this is, I mean, snakes have
bring
got
a date
axial
on here.
muscles that travel down their sides. And they will contract very, very quickly. And what the snake's doing often is when it grabs that jaguar on the nose, it's going to be generating a huge amount of force to pull it off its feet back into the water.
But will it have the crushing power of a real snake?
It's like a snake squeezing this barrel, so it's going to crush it like a Coke can.
That's what we hope.
Excellent. Okay, right. 3, 2, 1, squeeze.
Oh, the snake's biting in now.
Come on, snake.
Come on.
Snakey. Uh-oh! Snake's in trouble! Panic!
21st century science still can't match the muscle action of an anaconda.
Guys, you failed to impress me.
But nature had a head start. About 135 million years. The Jaguar has a weapon that could make all the difference when these rivals meet. Razor-sharp claws. Could the Jaguar strike fast enough and hard enough to score a hit on the snake? Jonathan analyzes wildlife footage to calculate the speed of a big cat's paw swipe. His measurements show the Jaguar can hit out at 17 feet per second, even faster than an anaconda. Jonathan estimates a big cat can deliver a blow equal to almost 2/3 of its body weight. So a full-grown Jaguar can land a 160-pound hit with a fistful of knives. But there's some good news for the snake, too. Like all big cats, the Jaguar is low on stamina. It's a sprinter built for a sudden dash. If the face-off with the Anaconda goes for more than one round, the Jaguar could end up on the ropes. But the Anaconda has some weaknesses the Jaguar could exploit. On land, that 350-pound body is sluggish and hard to maneuver. So out of water, the snake usually gets only one shot at its target, and it's vulnerable to attack. Snakes are cold-blooded. On cool days, they slow down. Against a lightning-fast opponent like a Jaguar, that could prove fatal. Final data is uploaded to the computer lab. Our virtual rivals are ready for the final face-off. We've seen that both Anaconda and Jaguar have devastating strikes. The winner of this face-off could be the one that gets in the first blow. Deep in the Amazon jungle, a hungry Jaguar is on the prowl. He's hoping to catch a fish or corner an unwary animal at the water's edge. A giant Anaconda senses a disturbance in the water. It slithers closer and lines up for a strike. The scene is set for an epic battle between South America's top predators. 4 deadly, penetrating canines against 6 rows of gripping needles. The cat's ferocity and agility against the reptile's weight and power. Razor-sharp claws against life-crushing coils. This contest is too close to call. Time to activate the face-off.
Well, you've seen all the tests. I'm pretty sure it's clear. Your Anaconda doesn't have a chance. Push this button and let us see what happens.
You must have been asleep for that entire thing. Didn't you see the results? Your Jaguar is snake meat. Go on, pull yourself out of your misery. Press the button.
I'm good at pushing buttons, it seems. All right, let's see this work.
how did the anaconda win in our scenario? The snake is on its home turf. It's been staking out this stretch of riverbank for weeks, waiting for the right moment to strike. The jaguar senses danger, but can't see the anaconda. A bird call distracts the big cat, and the snake makes its move. The heavy collision pulls the cat right off its feet. The jaguar rakes the anaconda's body with his claws and sinks his teeth through its spine. That would be the end for most animals, but the snake can still move most of its body. The turning point. The anaconda wants to call it off, but the jaguar's a relentless hunter. He's determined to have that snake for dinner. The anaconda's counterattack takes him by surprise, and by now he's too tired to resist. Cold, calculating, and immensely strong, the anaconda retains its crown as king of the jungle.
That's the luckiest thing I ever saw in my life.
You see, I told you, if you can incapacitate your opponents, you're going to win.